Hello and welcome to Learn C++ in an easy way. In this video, we are going to build three mini projects, all based on what we have learned during the previous 24 videos on this channel. Let's go. In the first project, we are going to ask the user to enter their language, and then we print Welcome to C++ in their language. Okay, we are going to ask the user to enter their languages. However, here I work only with three languages. Feel free if you want to extend it more. So I am going to print that enter your language, and I choose, for example, English and, for example, German and also Persian, then or Persian, then we go to the next line, and now we are going to take the language. Yeah, so we use scene, see the video in the caption to know how scene works. Then we should define what we want to take. Yeah, so we have a string, and I use long and take line because jar English n is not character anymore, it's a string. Yeah, I fix typo here, c must be little. And now we are going to use if else if. So see the video in the caption if you want to know about if else if. So if the user enter English or en, then we should write welcome to C++ in English. So we print then that cout welcome to project C++. Yeah, so and the end line. So now else if the user use, for example, I just changed it here. If the user use German GER, we should write herzlich willkommen. So I just copy and paste what I know here. Herzlich willkommen by project C++, and also if again copy paste the user enter Persian. So if long is Persian, print that question mark. So I just write it. Yeah. So, but at the end we use else if none of the above happens. So of course we cannot speak the language of the user, and then we like to write, okay, we cannot, or we don't know, we don't speak your language. Yeah, so now it's time to test it. So I run it. So I write, for example, here, I speak, for example, English. So I enter en and I see, okay, welcome to project. Now if I write Persian, I am going to see Hosham. However, if I write, for example, Italian, I see we don't speak your language. In the second project, we are going to ask the user to think of a number between 5 and 10, and we should try to guess the number by asking a few questions. Let us go. So we should ask the user to think of a number between 5 and 10. So I write here that okay, take a number between 5 and 10. So we will print this one and here I write 2 forward slash. The program is not going to read it. So I can write the numbers in two categories just to be clear and more understandable. So number between 5 and 10 could be odd or even, and evens are 6, 8, and 10, and odds are 5, 7, and 9. So one question could be this, that we can ask the user to decide if the number is odd or even. So this could be one good question. Another good question is this, that we have two numbers which is divided by 5. One is 5, which is odd, and another one is 10, which is even. Also, we have 9, which is divided by 3, and 6, which is divided by 3, and these are the only numbers. So we know now two more questions, just we write them. So we ask at first, is your number odd? Then if the answer is yes, we are in the one category on the left, and if it is no, we are in the category of even, and we can decide better what the number is. Then I should take it, yeah. So I introduce character ans o, and then I should take it using scene. See the video in the caption to know how does it work. And then I just write the next question, which is your number divisible by, for example, by 3. Yeah, and the user can enter the answer by Y or N, and then we need to also take the answer. I just copy paste the above here. So, but here the answer 3, and then we should repeat the whole process also for 5 instead of 3. So we take an answer which asks the user if the number is divided by 5. Good. Now it's time to decide based on the answer that user enter. So we use if condition. See the video in the caption to know how does it work. But if the answer is for being odd is yes, then we are in the odd category, and then we can decide based on the other two answer. And if the answer is no, that means if else happen, then we are in the even category and we decide what should we write there. So now that the answer is yes, we are in odd category, so we have 5, 7, and 9. Then we decide based on the fact that if the number is divided by 5 or by 3. So now if the answer to being divided by 5 is yes, then of course the number is 5, and we print and we tell the user that we found what you are thinking of, your number is 5. And now we have to decide between two numbers. So if the answer is yes for being divided by 3, then we are sure that the number is 9. So we write that okay, if the answer to be divided by 3 is yes, then we found your number. We just copy paste this here and we write okay, the answer is 9. Now the only number which remains is 7. So we write that if none of the above happens, the answer is, of course, 7. So the number is 7. So your number is 7. Perfect. Now we should go to the case that the first answer that we ask if the number is odd is no. That means we are in the even category. So we know that the number if either it is divided by 3 or 5 or the number is 8. So we do the same process what we did for if part, and exactly similarly. So if the answer for 3 is equal to yes, that means the number is 6. So we should tell the user the number is 6. And similarly, if the answer 5 is equal to yes or y, then of course the number is 10. So we just inform the user that we understood what number is in your brain. Then if none of them happens, then of course the number is 8. So we just write 8. Perfect. We wrote the code successfully and we just run it. So think a number which is in your brain, for example, 6. So is your number odd? No, 6 is not odd. So I have to write n here. Then I enter. Then is your number divided by 3? Yes, 6 is divided, but it is not divided by 5, so no, and perfect. The answer is 6. It works very well. We run it again. This time the number is 9, so 9 is odd, divisible by 3, so yes, and it's not divisible by 5, so no, and the answer is 9. This is the end of this second project. We go to the third one. Project 3. So use for loop and print letter B with the stars. Note that we did it once in the video in the caption, and now we want to use for loop. So we need to look at letter B from the video in the caption, which I took a photo of it, and we can look at the photo here. As we see, we have 9 rows and 8 columns. In somewhere there exists, somewhere there is only a space. Yeah. So we're in the upper part of B and copy paste it. So let us start. We are going to use for, and we are going to write for our rows from I equal to 1 until row 5, so I less or equal to 5 and I plus plus. This is how for loop works, and here we write what we should do for these i's which satisfy our condition. So now we go to columns. For columns where we have integer j, and j starts from 1 and j is less or equal to 8, the number of our column, then j plus plus. Now we want to say where we should write a star and where we just need to put empty, yeah, or a space. So here we are going to write that if blah blah, then blah blah. See the video in the caption to know how it works. And we use else. We don't need else if. So in in if part we write where we should put a star, and in else part we say okay, just put a space wherever it's not mentioned in if part. Yeah, so here we are going to say where we should put a star. So here I just write a star, and now the important part is write is writing inside if. So if we look at our B again, we see that okay, if j is equal to 1, that means if we are in the first column, we have always a star. So j equal to 1 is 1, and then we use or. Only in column 1, and also I equal to 1, and when we are in row 1, we have a star everywhere for j less or equal to 6. Yeah, perfect. Now we see that this is also the case when I is equal to 5. Yeah, if we look at um, our photo of B, so I am going to write here that if I is equal to 1 or even I is equal to 5 and j is less or equal to 6, I have a star. So the row 5 is also included. Now we need to go to case I equal to 2, right? If we look at the photo, when I is equal to 2 or j equal to 6, we have also a star, and this is also the same for row 4. So I am going to write here if I is equal to 2 or if I equal to 4 and j is equal to 6, then print a star. Now we use or again, and the last case is the case when I is equal to 3. So if I is equal to 3 and j is equal to 8, then we have also a star. So we covered all the cases for upper part of B. Now we are going to print this part. But before that, I noticed that here we should write, go to the next line. Also, this here 6 should be 7. I just fix it in this second row. Now, when I print it, we have everything nicely. So we have the upper part of B. I just copy and paste this part and we run it to see how is our whole of B. Now you see we have printed the upper part twice, so this is not a real B. So we need to delete one row here, and the only thing which we do is just deleting this row. So here I just start I from 2 and I ignore the first row for the bottom of B. Yeah, so this is our beautiful B and everything works.